Irish Soft Coated Wheaten Terrier. The Irish Soft Coated Wheaten Terrier is a dog breed. It differs from other Irish Terriers in its special coat, extremely silky, soft, unique wheat color, which is reflected in the name of the breed. In addition to the traditional rodent hunting and guard service for terriers, dogs of this breed can be used for grazing. History of the breed. The origin of the Wheaten Terrier is closely intertwined with the history of other Irish Terrier breeds. There were probably two groups of Irish Terriers originally existed. From the group that belonged to the representatives of the aristocratic layers, the Irish Terrier breed was obtained by purposeful breeding. The Wheat Terrier was obtained by the method of folk selection from a group of dogs that lived on peasant farms and thus has a mixed origin. This dog has the stamina, intelligence and courage of a terrier, but can work with livestock as well. The soft-coated terrier is mentioned in written sources at least 200 years ago and is possibly older than other Irish Terrier breeds, but these breeds all share common roots. However, the wheat was recognized as a separate breed later than its congeners. In the 19th century, three breeds, Irish Terrier, Kerry Blue Terrier and Wheaten, were exhibited in the same Irish Terrier class, but were subsequently separated. The soft-coated Wheaten Terrier was officially recognized by the Irish Kennel Club in 1937. In 1957, the breed was recognized by the International Cynological Federation. Appearance. The Irish Soft-Coated Wheaten Terrier is a strong, hardy, compact dog. The coat is soft, silky to the touch, not harsh. Curly or slightly wavy hair, no undercoat. The coat is abundant on the body, head and limbs of the dog. The color is even, described as very light to golden shades of mature wheat. The standard allows dogs to be shown at shows both in natural coat and trimmed. Natural wool no longer than 12 centimeters, with a silky sheen, not fluffy and not fluffed, naturally flows and falls. When trimming, the neck, chest and head are trimmed short, eyebrows, mustache and beard are left long. The body and tail are designed to emphasize the contours of the dog. Puppies are rarely born with hair of the correct texture and color, usually they are bright red or grayish, with a black mask, shading along the body, sometimes with a belt along the back. In the process of growing up, the dog's coat goes through several stages of development, color changes and is finally formed by the age of 18 to 30 months. The head of the Wheaten Terrier is moderately long, the muzzle is square with a large black nose. The eyes are medium in size, light hazel. The ears are V-shaped, small or medium, turned towards the front and located at the same level with the top line of the head, may be slightly darker than the general color of the dog. The neck is of moderate length, the back is straight and strong, the tail is set high, carried happily, but should not curl over the back. It is allowed to dock the tail up to 2/3 of the length. Care. Following the advice of experienced specialists, you need to adhere to several principles and do everything according to the scheme. First of all, it is accustoming to various procedures, walking the puppies. And you also need to vaccinate in a timely manner. Treatments include grooming your hair, brushing your teeth as well as your ears. The coat of terriers is very smooth and silky, moreover, it has no undercoat, so the animal almost never sheds. In order for the terrier to always be well groomed and also to have no tangles, it must be combed out daily. Such an animal will not need a haircut because even at exhibitions they need a more natural look. The only thing that is required is to slightly trim the most sloppy strands, which will only emphasize their feature. If the owner still decided to cut his pet, then this should be done according to the following scheme. First, you need to shorten the fur on the cheekbones, as well as the neck and head. You can do this with a typewriter or with ordinary scissors. To make the dog look more focused, you can leave it with a small beard and eyebrows. You need to cut so that the dog can see. To make the terrier look a little neater, the fur needs to be shortened, not only on the sides, but also on the back. After that, it is necessary to cut the hair on the shoulders and near the tail. On the legs and on the belly, the fur seems to form a skirt. If necessary, it can be cut by a few centimeters, but such a haircut is only suitable for a pet dog. But for those dogs that are being prepared for an exhibition, a specialist should do grooming. The terrier needs to be bathed from time to time. This should be done as soon as they become dirty or before an exhibition. You can use special shampoos that are available in any veterinary pharmacy or zoological store. It is necessary to get accustomed to brushing your teeth from a very young age so that older dogs do not perceive it aggressively. In addition, they can be cleaned using deontological agents or special bones. The ears should be examined daily for the presence of sulfur in them and cleaned with special ear sticks. And you should also look for ticks or any inflammatory diseases. If a dog lives in an urban environment, then he should definitely cut his claws because in such conditions they do not have the opportunity to grind themselves. If they are too long, then the pads on their paws can be injured from this. And this, as you know, causes some discomfort when moving. Vaccination must be carried out from 2 months and then follow the scheme. Be sure to inspect your pets for burrows or any weed seeds. This is to ensure that they do not get under the skin. It is best to keep such animals in country houses because initially they were considered yard dogs. Therefore, they need to run a lot, as well as hunt. However, the dog must also have a lot of contact with its owners in order to be as close to them as possible. In cities, you need to walk your pets at least 2 times a day. To properly feed your pet, you need to know everything, not only about his health, but also about some of the features of his metabolism. For example, too much protein can cause dermatitis in terriers, but too fatty food can cause stomach upset or a common liver disease. You can choose for food both industrial and natural products. Preferring the first option, you can use both dry food and soft food. Both of them contain all vitamins necessary for a dog, as well as microelements. However, you only need to buy the highest quality feed, premium or super premium feed. Temperament and use. Irish Scottish Terriers are quite capricious and brave, so they very often commit the most reckless acts. Such animals get along rather badly with other pets that live next to them. For example, they can live well with a cat under one roof if they grow up together from childhood. They show strong aggression towards other dogs, they can fight even with dogs of a larger size. In addition, terriers are quite active, so very often they can be seen in sports, as well as at dog shows. These animals are excellent hunters. They will also be able to protect their master from any impending danger. The Wheat Terrier is highly intelligent, so he easily understands any commands and does what they want from him. Both puppies and adult terriers love to play and fool around, not only with children, but also with adults. They are more wary of strangers. They quickly become attached to their masters and serve them faithfully. The Soft Coated Wheaten Terrier is energetic, playful, but balanced at the same time. Should not show aggression, affection and attached to the owner. It is used for hunting various pests, sports, and also as a companion. Lifespan. With proper maintenance and proper care, these unusual animals will be able to delight their owners for 13 to 16 years. Education and training. Among many dogs, the Wheaten Terrier is easy to train and therefore amenable to training. If you start upbringing at an early age, then his aggression and all the negative traits of his character will disappear. He can master the commands in just a few days. It is enough to repeat them several times and the animal will immediately remember everything. Among other things, he will carry out the commands of not only adult family members, but also children, which will allow even an inexperienced breeder to keep a dog. In addition to various commands, terriers can also be trained in various circus tricks. For example, during the Second World War, terriers were used for sanitary service. In addition, dogs from an early age can be taught to hunt both large animals and small ones. For example, it can be hares, badgers, and foxes. After training, they are able not only to drive their prey into a hole, but also to crawl after them there and pull them out either dead or alive. In addition, during such training, a person must train the dog to understand that it is impossible to attack pets or a person. And it is also necessary to remember that such an animal has a huge jumping ability. If a terrier is too excited, then he can jump even to the face of an adult. To prevent this from happening, the puppy must be weaned from jumping from the very youth. If you do not wean them, then in such a rush the dog will be able to dump a small child or an elderly person on the floor. For the dog to be obedient, you need to train the animal every day. Since the dog has a rather playful character, then first of all it is necessary to teach him forbidding commands, for example, foo, to me, place, lie down or stand. It is very difficult to deal with terriers because they are great actors. Therefore, if they do not want to execute any of the commands, then he can pretend that he is very offended. Price and how to buy correctly. To date, the price of an Irish Terrier puppy ranges from $300. To prevent scammers slipping a non-standard puppy, it is best to buy them in specialized kennels or clubs. In them, the dog will have a passport and all the records of their pedigree. In addition, when buying, you need to pay attention to the fact that there are records of vaccinations. For those owners who want to get calmer pets for themselves, you need to take females. But males are suitable for more active people. But at the same time, one must remember that they need not only to be educated, but also to be trained. But nevertheless, when buying, you must definitely pay attention to the puppy himself and choose the animal you like.